Alright, welcome to a brief tutorial on how to set up your character in Roleplay Redux. On our Conan server, the Demi-Plane of Dread, we use D&D dice system for PvP combat. We know that D&D is not set up for PvP, so there are some differences, but they're not as big that a D&D player wouldn't understand it. So this tutorial is mainly just a walkthrough to set up your character so you don't make any mistakes in the process. Alright, so let's start by opening up Roleplay Redux and hitting Shift R. And we're going to go ahead and hit Create Character. Now, there's a lot going on here, but don't worry. Once we get started, it will all fall into place. The main thing I want to point out is this button here, the Save and Exit. Only press this when you're 100% sure that you're satisfied with your character sheet. Alright? If at any time you make a mistake and you want to change it, like let's say I pick Beast Touched, and I'm like, I don't want Beast Touched. So we're just going to hit the X and click Shift R and go back to Create Character, and ta-da! I can pick a new character. Alright, so races. As you can see, there's a lot of races. And some key things to go over here. You'll notice that we have attribute changes: +2 strength, +2 con, -1 dex, -1 wisdom. They've got some racial perks here: combat guidance, natural apothecary, natural endurance, resistance to fear. Alright, you'll also notice here it says unlocks HP. You can just ignore that. Every humanoid race has HP. You know, we do have vampires on the server, so they have a different type of health. So that's why pretty much every race has unlock HP on it. Alright, so this guy here, he's an elf. So we're going to click elf. Now you notice when I click elf, I have additional elves to choose from. That's why when you first click on elf, we go back. You'll see everybody has this nice description. And if I go down to dwarf, there isn't one. Elf, there isn't one. And gnome, there isn't one. Because there's different types. Different types of dwarfs, different types of gnomes, different types of elves. So we're going to go with elf again. And this one we're going to go with drow. So drow have a +1 to dex, +1 to intelligence, -1 to constitution. Their perks: dark vision, keen sense, fey ancestry. Alright? And you also notice there that they have an average height. When you're making your character and you go to the height chart, you're going to want to stay within that height range as well. So let's go ahead and click drow. Alright, now on to classes. Now the race is selected, you will see that we can now select a class. There are 10 different classes, and each class has 3 separate subclasses. This particular character is a sneaky one. He's going to be a rogue. So let's find rogue. You'll see rogue comes with these starting perks here. I'm not going to go over them, I'm just going to select it. And then when I select it, you'll see the subclasses. We have trickster, assassin, and thief. Now he's a drow. They're more magically adept, so we're going to go ahead and pick arcane trickster. So now I have a drow arcane trickster, and that's supposed to be more assassin, really, type. So when it comes to perks, I'm going to help him be more of an assassin rather than a thief or a fighter or finger wiggler by selecting these perks. So he's definitely going to need stealth. So we're going to go with definitely hit the stealth and the sleight of hand. That's going to help him out a lot. And deception would be good. Yeah, let's go with let's go with deception. All right. Now we go, after we pick our perks, now we have our alignment. Now, drow, they're naturally evil, and he's going to be more neutral evil since he's a rogue, and that's all on here. Now we come over to the attribute and skill side, and you'll notice here we have 7 attribute points and 10 skill points. So attribute-wise, we're going to go full dex. We'll just click that till I can't anymore, and he's a caster too, so we're going to need some more intelligence. And then definitely going to have to balance out that dex. I'd rather have more, but he needs that intelligence to cast those spells as an arcane trickster. As for skill points, I'm just going to go ahead and run down this list. Just grab some stuff that stands out. Stealth, bump that up. Perception, can always use more. Where's that? Deception, more deception. And gotta have some acrobatics. Alright, so now if you look up here, we have all zeros. That means everything has been selected that could be selected. If you have numbers up here, that means you can still have points to add. If you mess up on any of this, you can just hit a minus button and then add it back. You don't have to click the X to reset it. But just to show you, so I have everything selected. I'm looking at this. I see some stuff here, and maybe I notice, you know what? He doesn't need deceitful. I want to change that. How am I going to do that? We're just going to go ahead and hit the X. All right, now that's going to clear it out with Shift R. Go back to create character, and we're back at the beginning. I'm going to run through this, and then we'll go ahead and save it. All right, so I went ahead and selected everything I did before. Now, but I changed that deceitful. I want to find familiar because it'd be nice to have a little pet that I could summon, keep around. You have a lot of different familiars to choose from spiders to mini dragons. Also, something I forgot to mention, you'll see here that these are grayed out, and that means I can't use them unless I put a point in them. Even though I selected Stealthy, which gives me +2 to Sleight of Hand, you'll notice as a rogue I gain Sleight of Hand and lockpicking skills, but they're still gray because I have to put at least 1 point in each of them. And see, now they're unlocked. All right. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and bump that one up, an extra one. All right, so now I know I've went over everything. Everything's good. It's the way I want it. And I'm just going to save and close. And now my character sheet has been updated. When I hit Shift R this time, you'll see now I actually have stats. My HP, I have AC, which also reflects my current armor that I have equipped. So if you have light armor, medium armor, or heavy armor, this AC is going to change. If you have a shield, it's also going to change. All right. You'll see down here, you have all those abilities, and you can just roll them by clicking on them. And it also tells you when to use it. So you can see used to intimidate others. You can also see what it goes against. It goes against someone's willpower. That way there's no question if I try to intimidate you, what you have to roll to counter my intimidation. All right, let's go over to the ability page. And you'll see here all my attacks. You'll see my magic spells. And there is a lot, right? And down here, you also see the Find the Familiar. Ooh, it's a big explanation. But you can see here all the different types of summons you can get with Find Familiar. It's a pretty neat attribute. And not only that, each familiar gives you a little bonus. So, a little extra to this video. Alright. One thing that you do need to realize is when you go to attack, all I have is unarmed. So if I close the window, equip my sword, and then go back, you'll see now I have a one-handed sword attack. Same goes for dagger, hammer, whatever you have equipped. It'll pop up here. You can select it and select your target. Alright, so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or one of the other admins. We can help you set this sheet up if for some reason you're having any difficulty. Thank you. And I can't wait to roleplay with you on the Demi-Plane of Dread.